Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Love Fruit podcast. And our guest today is Danny Siegel, and he is on Instagram, Raw Man Dan. You may remember that I interviewed Danny's wife, Casey Siegel, last year, I think, and she had a great story about her journey towards a raw vegan lifestyle. And I wanted to catch up with Danny and find out more about him. And also, I've been looking at your Instagram, Danny, and you've got a lot of it's raw.man.dan, and you've got these particular recipes or pictures, and I started to see the same thing over and over. So I had to look, and you call it Siegel's Sweets. Is that right?
Eagle Sweets, yeah.
Yeah, I was checking that out. So anyway, in introduction to yourself, Danny, is there anything else you want to say?
No, you did pretty well. I'm a physical therapist right now, transitioning to doing more personal coaching, helping people transition their life. But other than that, you did pretty well.
Excellent. So let's go back to the start, because I also saw an Instagram picture of you with sort of the foods that you used to eat. You had a big pile of sort of different junk foods in front of you, I think would be fair to say.
Yes.
Different cartons of junk food, and so I'm guessing you weren't brought up like on a vegan or raw vegan sort of lifestyle.
Growing up on the American sad standard diet, eating a lot of, I ate probably like 4 to 5 eggs a day for breakfast, didn't drink that much water. I didn't really look at nutrition at all. I didn't care about what I ate, just ate to, just live. But I've gone through a lot of changes the past 5 years now. And right now, I think I'm at the ultimate diet right now, being raw vegan. So
awesome. So where is it you were brought up? Where did you come from?
I mean, I was born in Virginia. I moved to Florida, so I've lived in Florida my whole life. My family is pretty typical, eat 3 meals a day. Don't really care if it's vegetable or fruit, just, get your protein in, that kind of stuff. My dad has always been not too healthy. He doesn't make the right food choices. So it's like, I don't really have the education background from my family. So I kind of had to teach my family my ways now. But growing in high school, I played sports. So I was always athletic, and I always didn't really gain too much weight because I was so active. But once I stopped playing sports, I started to retain a lot of weight. So by the time I was like 24, I was like, 40, 50 pounds overweight, just like the blink of an eye. So if I was down that path, I was going to gain, be close to 200, 300 pounds. So I had to make a change, and I did.
So apart from putting on the weight, did you experience any other health issues growing up?
I've always, actually, when I was in 4th grade, my parents took me to a doctor because my blood pressure, the number was 300, and healthy was like 105 to 125. So as a 4th grader, I was like a 6-year-old man. So they put me on a strict diet, no fried foods, pretty much baking all my foods. And it went down to like 199. So diet back then, even though I wasn't transitioning from, meat to vegan, it was meat to a better type of meat. It still improved. So ever since then, I kind of started watching what I ate because I did have the gene to make me gain weight fast. So over time, I've learned and I educated myself on the proper foods to eat. So now I've always been a big eater. I've always eat huge volumes of food no matter what it is. So now it's just the right food I'm eating.
You had 300 blood pressure?
Yeah, at age 10. No, cholesterol.
Cholesterol? Oh my God.
My blood pressure, actually, that's a good point. My blood pressure has always been fluctuating my whole life, always in the high numbers. I was like 150 over 100 about 6 years ago. And I check it every day, every once in a while. And, now it's down to like 110 over 90. So it's like.
Oh, that's awesome. Great. Yeah. But your cholesterol was 300?
Cholesterol was 300, off the charts.
Old. Oh my God.
Yeah. The doctor wanted to write a book about me because it was so high for a 10-year-old.
Do you know if have you got that tendency in the family? Because some people do have like excessively high cholesterol, just naturally, sort of thing.
Yeah, it's my dad's side has a lot of heart issues, blood pressure issues, cholesterol, asthma. So it runs in the family, they say.
Right. So how did the journey start towards vegetarian, vegan, so on. What were the kind of stages that you make? Because I'm guessing it maybe wasn't all overnight.
No, kind of. So with my wife, she has rheumatoid arthritis, so we went to the doctors, and the first we went to a holistic doctor, and she said to go plant-based. So we watched a couple of movies, went plant-based overnight. So it kind of did go from eating, I think my last meal was on St. Patty's Day, and I had a corned beef and hash, and what else did I have? Yeah, so that typical meal, and then the next day we kind of went straight vegan until we went raw vegan 3 years later. So it
But
wasn't an easy trend, huh?
Well, I just wanted to say that's great that you supported your wife like that and just decided to go along with what she had to do. That's brilliant.
Yeah, because I mean, we ultimately went that path because we went 4 years going in and out. We probably had 4 or 5 rheumatologists saying the same thing. We don't know what's wrong with you, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, we're going to do our own thing. And one doctor said this, so we tried it and we actually saw results pretty quickly. So we stuck with it. And I saw, like, even I wasn't unhealthy. I saw a lot of health benefits from going vegan.
Yeah, yeah. And so you went plant-based pretty much straight away. How easy was that for you?
It was hard at first, but after the first 3 months, it kind of got easier. I kind of did more research and find different people who made different recipes that I wasn't used to because I grew up on different kind of food. We kind of stuck with the same meal for the first 3 months. It was like walnuts and like cauliflower tacos. So we didn't really like expand from that. But then after a while, we started doing more research and just testing out in the kitchen. And now we both love like just being in the kitchen all day and making new recipes.
That's cool. And why did you head towards more of the raw foods?
To go deeper into healing, we saw so many benefits with like going plant-based, and then we kind of really went SOS free, so no salt, oil, sugar. So we kind of eliminated a lot of things throughout the years, and then raw vegan is just eliminating the cooked foods, which is like the big culprit for me specifically because from going plant-based to raw, within the first 3 months, I lost 40 pounds, which I didn't think I had that much weight to lose, but it came off super easy. I was eating way more than I did before, so I was really confused, but I felt amazing. So it kind of was an easy choice for us.
That's awesome. And what have been some of the benefits that you've seen? That you've talked about the weight loss, but what other benefits do you see on the raw vegan diet?
Sleep, like my best benefit is sleep. I can, like, once I lay down at night, it takes me 10 seconds to fall asleep and I'm passed out until my alarm wakes up me the next morning. So I get really good sleep now. My energy level is like skyrocketed every day. Like I wake up and I'm wired until I go to bed. My clarity at work, I'm like more productive, I've noticed. And I just have a lot more, like, I'm just a happier person, I feel like. Before I was kind of like had a high temper sometimes if something went wrong, or I kind of just like live life easier now because I feel like I know the answer to life now, the way we eat.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So what was the transition like to raw? Was that a little bit more difficult than going plant-based?
Yes, because you couldn't recreate the same kind of meals you did going plant-based. Like you can have a burger, it kind of tastes the same. But going raw, you kind of had to change your thinking about food as to thinking like a couple mangoes could be a whole meal compared to like a little side on a plate of food. So that, and it's just eating more is another thing you have to kind of get used to, because if you're going to go raw, you can't just have like the same portion meals because you're just going to fatigue yourself and no energy. Other than that, yeah, just changing the way you kind of have to unlearn the whole system. Like, I mean, I'm a physical therapist in a nursing home, and the system really isn't working because they're giving people the wrong foods 3 times a day, not letting them go outside, getting the sun on their face, all that kind of stuff. So what I've learned the past, 3 or 4 years is like, you kind of have to unlearn things and kind of live your life the way you kind of want to live your life, not having someone else tell you the right way to live.
Sure. Yeah. So you transitioned to more raw vegan diet. Who were the kind? Was it any particular system you followed, or any books you were reading, videos, any particular influencers or whatever that kind of inspired you or helped you in your path?
Yeah, we ran into somehow, I think on YouTube, Dr. Robert Morse, and kind of went down that rabbit hole and got into like John Rose. And lately I've been, he's not raw vegan, but a lot of medical like advances, medical medium. We kind of follow a lot of his protocols. But other than that, we kind of just listen to our bodies. Like we have all the information, like eat fruits and vegetables and like kind of food combine the way you want to. And if one day your body doesn't agree with it, we kind of learn and don't do that again. And that's kind of the way we live now. Like, oh, we can have, a high fatty meal once, but it's going to make us feel like crap the next couple of days. So, kind of just limit those types of meals. That's what we kind of.
What would be your typical day be like?
A typical day. So we have celery juice to start our day, and then I have a half a gallon of a fruit juice, so either watermelon or pineapple juice. And then I have a gallon of a smoothie. So I have a half a gallon of a tropical smoothie and a half a gallon of the medical medium detox smoothie. So a lot of liquids. And then I try to mono meal either watermelon, mango, whatever I have on hand. And then we have a big veggie meal at the end of the night. And we pretty much stick with that the past like 6 months. And I like crave that tropical smoothie. I crave my detox smoothie because it's just my taste buds have changed and I just like feel so good eating that kind of way.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do you guys do any kind of supplementation, anything like that? And what's your thoughts on that?
Yes, we take B12. That's the only supplement that I take. Casey, since she's on a different regimen for her arthritis, a lot of information, like I said, was from medical medium. So she takes, zinc, a couple different like cat's claw and different other like root supplements, I guess. But I mean, if your body's lacking something, then I think that it's advised to take something to,
Yeah.
supplement what you're missing.
In the area that you're living, I think you said Florida, is it?
Yeah.
Have you got any kind of community around you or other people that are doing this, or have you been able to connect with others?
Yes, we actually have a pretty big community now. We're actually going to a potluck next weekend for Thanksgiving, so Friendsgiving at a raw vegan restaurant. So we have 20 people coming all around, our little area. But we do have a core. We try like once a month to get a raw vegan potluck going, either our house or their place. So we have a core of 10 people around here. So it's nice.
And what area is that in Florida? If maybe some people would like to join.
Yeah, we live in Clearwater, but the people come from St. Pete, Sarasota. They come from all around the Gulf side of Florida. But I've heard there's a bunch. Yeah, there's a bunch down south too.
I was in Clearwater a couple of years ago.
Mm.
Yeah, the lady that's the camp nurse at Woodstock, she lives there in
Oh, nice.
in Clearwater. Yeah, I don't know if you've met her, but I'll connect you. Yeah, cool. So what is it you've started to transition now, I believe, to sharing this with other people? What inspired you to do that?
Just the way that Casey's changed physically, mentally, like emotionally, same with me. The way I've gone from, me thinking a certain way, like I'm gonna work at the same job for so long, to eating the same types of food, getting the same types of diseases in the same timeline, to changing that to being free and like I feel the best I've ever. I feel younger than I was in high school, and I don't think that's going to be changing anytime soon. Like, so I want other people to kind of experience that and know that there is a life that's not kind of miserable if you're in a miserable situation, or like, you can be happy when you're not, if you're sad, that kind of. Yeah.
And you're specifically going into you're starting to do some coaching and things like that.
Yeah, we're starting to put that out there. So yeah, it's going pretty well.
Awesome. So, what's the kind of person that should work with you? Like, who are you kind of who would you specialize in dealing with, or is it kind of a broad range of people that you could help, or what's your approach?
Yeah, it's a broad range of people. Anyone who wants to lose weight, lose an extra 5-10 pounds, or anyone who wants to transform their life or their family. Casey's kind of focused on the healing. So if you're going through some type of healing crisis, she's been through it, the thick of it. So she kind of can help guide you in that kind of way. I can help in the way that if you have any like questions, fitness wise or weight loss wise, to kind of maintain and kind of like maximize the life you have. That's what I'm here for.
Awesome. Yeah, that can be a bit of a problem. what are the mistakes that you see people make on this path?
They don't eat enough. That's a big thing. They don't buy enough food. Like you see behind me, that's like our stash for the week. So having enough on hand. So people that like me in the beginning, like if you didn't have anything, you kind of just went for convenience. So a big thing is to make sure you have enough in your surroundings so you don't kind of get the urge to cheat. Another thing is to have a community. So to have people to talk to about questions in the area, or just to have a phone call like, hey, I'm struggling in this situation. What can I do? That kind of thing.
And have you seen any bad information? Like sometimes we see information getting shared that might not be all that good or might not be that accurate. Do you ever see, is there anything in particular that you see that kind of gets shared that you don't agree with or don't really like in the raw vegan world?
A big one is, you've probably seen it too, the sugar. People are crazy about sugar, how, why you're eating so much fruit, you're gonna get diabetes. Or people are unaware of the actual nutrition that a human being needs. So they want to make blanket statements saying that raw vegans are lacking this, this, and this, when I could go back and say, well, you're not even getting this, this, and that. So it's just the misinformation that media has, that the education system's teaching people, that it just ingrains in them. So they're just living that until the grave. So kind of just, you have to get away from that kind of thinking. It's kind of hard for people, but it's just a path that you have to take.
And what would be your advice for people that are beginning out on this path?
To do your research, like have more than one person saying a fact to make it wanting to do, wanting to live this way. To have friends or a community online or what have you to talk to reach out, to ask questions, as many questions you have. There's people out there that want to answer, that want to help. And to just start today. Like, don't start next week, don't start next month, just start today, because every day you wait is another day you could be doing.
Do you think that most people could do it overnight like you, or do you think that they would maybe do a longer transition? What do you think?
If I were to do it again, it would be a longer transition. We kind of did it because of the health crisis that my wife's in. So we kind of wanted to go cold turkey, and we're pretty dedicated because of that. But most people don't have the same issues that we have. So they can, I would suggest going slow, because if you go fast, you kind of gonna wear out yourself and kind of not appreciate the diet as much as if you can transition slow and really listen to your body and see the effects that the food they're currently eating is causing them. So we kind of went cold turkey. So I kind of noticed a bunch of, like, in the beginning, gas and bloating, because I was eating all this raw vegetables, that weren't digesting as well as if I transitioned slowly. My body could, like, form the proper enzymes to break it down, that kind of thing.
Yeah. What advice would you have for, like, there's a lot of couples where the issue is one of them wants to change or needs to change and the other one maybe doesn't. And the great thing about your situation is that you were so open to changing, and sometimes that doesn't happen in couples. I can think of a few examples where people haven't been very supported by their partner. What would, do you have any advice for them, or how to approach that, or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I guess I am different than most people, where I was going to be eating, hot dogs until the day I died, but I changed overnight. And the thing is, you have to, I don't think that the other spouse should force it on them. It should be their decision to go plant-based or to change their life in whatever way. Also, it's just trial and erroring. It's testing it out. It's doing it one night a week in the beginning, just to see how you like it, and then go from there. And just to be appreciative towards the other spouse, to don't kind of judge them, because in my own family, there's my mom and dad. My mom is vegan, my dad's not, but they don't make it that big of a deal. But others can, like, push them away and say, oh, you got to eat this steak for dinner. And that just really isn't good for your mental health, because you're trying to make a decision. The other person's trying to force you out of it. So it is hard. It's just another thing, is got to find those people that you can talk to, like another couple that is, plant-based together, and how they did it, how they overcame different obstacles.
Yeah, that's awesome. Outside of the diet, what are some of the things that you find essential for a healthy lifestyle?
I would say exercise, like movement, getting outside. Because if you kind of have this lifestyle but don't move your body, you're kind of just holding everything up tight. You're not releasing all that energy that you need to be. Another thing that I've noticed in the past year is getting outside, like getting sunlight. I think that's the number one reason why I sleep so well, is because I have so much energy and the sun is helping me utilize all the nutrition I'm taking in. So sunlight, exercising, just meditating and just thinking about like gratitude about your life, not just taking your life for granted. Oh, I'm just another guy on earth, just taking advantage of, I get to live on this earth, and like appreciate the small things. And just being an overall like nicer person. Like if you're eating the way you're eating, healthy, and being an asshole to everyone, then you're just kind of not doing anything for your mental health and doing for your own like life. But if you're just go into life more appreciative and more like nice, then you'll get nice things back to you, and then life will just become easier.
Maybe I don't know if I'm right or wrong about this. I got the impression that I'm not sure if you guys have a religious life as well. I'm not sure if that's the case. And if that is the case, do you think that some of the practices involved in religion are quite health promoting as well? If that makes sense.
Yeah. I don't go too into it, but I mean, I was born and raised Catholic. Over the past, since going raw, I've noticed things that the church isn't really focusing on, which it could be. Like if it preaches about helping others, and the biggest thing, ending animal cruelty, like and ending billions of animals being born to just be slaughtered for food, that should be kind of preached to kind of go against. But um, other than that, if the way, I mean, I don't know how to get into religion without being like political about it, but just I don't know, like live your life the way you would want to live. Like, I mean, I was born Catholic, so I kind of live my life the way Christ lives on earth. So instead of like going to church every single week or so many times a year, I kind of like try to be Christ in my world. So like I donate to charity. If I see a homeless guy on the side of the street, I'll give him $1. Like every time, I want to make sure that everyone is happy and everyone is taken care of.
Yeah, I was looking up something recently about some of the practices, like things like people singing together that people do in church, and like you were talking about, like thinking about the things you're grateful for, which is can be part of some religions and things like that, and even prayer and meditation, as you were talking about, that these things are all quite health promoting as well, and good for people and have a good impact. So I'm getting more curious about that. Well, Danny, what do you feel is like next for you? What's your dreams going forward, and what are your plans?
Well, our overall dream is to be like financially independent. We want to travel the world pretty much. We kind of want to go to different locations and kind of travel there for a while, and then within 10 years find a destination that suits us. We're thinking about going to South America somewhere, or coast like the Costa Rica or Ecuador, somewhere coastal, and just traveling and kind of just waking up and being somewhere in the world that we love, instead of just waking up and going to a job.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
I can't wait till that day happens.
How can people reach out to you and find out more about you?
We're on Instagram. I'm at raw.man.dan. We're developing a YouTube page now, so that's going to be available soon. We have a new coaching program and different options that people can choose from. Other than that, I'm hoping we have more to offer, more courses, more coaching, recipes, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And what are the Siegel sweets? We didn't really go into that.
Well, it's just our little company we have here. We make cinnamon rolls. We have 4 different flavors now, but we sell all throughout America. I wish we can sell it to different parts of the world, but right now we can't. But we started in February and we haven't slowed down since. It's pretty crazy how the community behind us is like amazing, because we get people all from Alaska to Hawaii, everywhere.
That's amazing. Brilliant.
Yeah.
You're selling these to Alaska, Hawaii, and all these places?
And a lot of repeat customers love it. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's fantastic. That's brilliant. So, thanks for joining me, Danny. Any last words of advice or encouragement to the audience?
Yeah, if you're just interested in about joining this lifestyle, just kind of don't think and just do it. Just go for it and just learn along the way. You'll learn things about yourself that you didn't know before. You'll change in things, the ways you didn't think you would change. Just be yourself, and don't kind of listen to the outside voice talking. Just do you.
Well, thanks so much for joining me today, Danny, and everyone. You can follow Danny at raw.man.dan on Instagram and find out more there. What's the YouTube page, Danny?
It's at raw.vegan.healing. It's my wife's right now, but we're going to be transitioning to doing a couple one. So in the works, coming.
Really cool. Thank you everyone for watching. Please feel free to share this video and share this with others that you think might like it. You can go to fruitfest.co.uk and keep in touch with us at our newsletter. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Love Fruit podcast. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
And thanks everyone.